what this program will do. Oh my god. And here we go, we have our server, guys. Now let's try to test. And we have a connection, guys. You can type dial, and now we have, who am I? You can hack me, I don't care, by the way. You can type PowerShell with exe, and then get running process. And we have all the process. We can kill, we can do anything. And for people who will try to decrypt it, I will say good luck. And here we have a folder which has a working image and some files. And we run our ransomware. And the image got encrypted. Let's try the exe. Welcome, guys. Now we're gonna create the most advanced undetectable keylogger and it take have megabytes. So every file you're gonna download from the internet will have the website and it will have a zone ID, which means this file has been downloaded from the internet. Microsoft Defender Smart Screen prevented an unrecognized app from starting. What this will do, guys, let's try to open it now and see if Windows Smart Screen will trigger or not. Oh, guess not, guys. It doesn't trigger. Which will do it? No. Smart screen. But look at this. No smart screen at all, guys. Welcome, guys, to our manual development course. In this course, we're going to create manuals from scratch. We won't depend on any tools. So if you're an ethical hacker or red teamer, or you are interested in manuals in general, you will heavily benefit from this course. And often people will depend on tools like Metasploit or others. The manuals will get detected by anti-malware software. So in our course, we won't depend on any of these tools. And for the request is just a basic programming knowledge of Python and C. And I hope you guys benefit from this course. What this program will do. Oh my god. Welcome, guys. Now let me introduce you to computer world. We will create a typical one that loop itself and go to every folder in the computer and copy itself multiple times. It's very fun and we can do it. We can even break the system if we want with it. We can do a lot of stuff. And we will make it undetectable by antivirus. So I will explain the algorithm first. We will import Shuttle and Baslib. I will talk about them because if we didn't import them before. Shuttle is a library that offers a lot of methods. One of them is copy, which we will use. Shuttle copy would move the source to the destination. So you put the location of the things that you want to copy here, then you put the destination. But it needs to take the full path. It doesn't take relative path, so you can't copy it. You can't just type the name of the folder that you want to copy to. You need to give it all the path from start of the partition. Okay, that's something you need to be careful with. And Baslib has the method called path, which we use it to list all the folders on the operation system. This path method returns a string, which is a folder name or partition name to path object, and after we turn it into a path object, we can do methods on it, like we will know if this folder contain files and folders, we're gonna able to rotate to every item of it and tell if this was a file or this was a folder. And for the functions, we're gonna create a class called wall. It will have function to list all the folders on the operation system, and a function that will copy our own to every folder, and it will be multiple times. And we have a simple function to say hello. Okay, let's go to it. We press 6. Okay, and we have our wall, and we have an icon also. So we're gonna import OS and shuttle and bathlab and sys, and we're gonna create a class. This class will be typically creating classes and functions is very beautiful. So if you wanna import some of your function or classes, it will be very easy. So you always need to do use functions and use not necessarily classes every time, but at least you can use functions. Class is very beautiful tool. When you import it, you just will import and you're gonna type warm.list all, so it will be easy. It will be very beautiful when you like a package. Okay, so first, this is init. It's just a method. I don't know if I need to explain the programming here. I don't know if this is probably not in the scope of this course, but I like to I don't like to move on everything. The init it is a function that will, every time this class will call, it will definitely 100% will get called, even if we didn't call it. Okay, this is what this mean. If you didn't use classes before, init mean every time you're gonna call this class, even if you didn't mention me, I will execute. Okay, so if you're gonna call this method, which will list all, this will execute as well. If you call this method only, this will execute at all. This is like in C++, they call it constructor, which is a function that will be falsed, will run by false every time you're gonna use this class. Okay, so we will use this to say hello, because it will run one time when this class will get called. So we're just gonna open a file. We're gonna name it warm.txt with open write mode. Okay, with open, if you didn't use it before, it is it's make sure that after you finish what you will do, it will close the file. This is very beautiful, better than open, because sometimes you forget to close when you open using the open method, and this can make a lot of problems. So this is the safe one, the fast one, it's a better one. So with open, as if, write on if warm say hello. Okay, and we can open it. os.system. This is the method to run cmd commands. So this is on OS module. This method make you type like you typing in cmd. So we're just gonna type notepad, open this file. Okay, and this is, as I told you, this is the method that will run the functions that will run every time. We will call the copy self method. Okay, I will talk about this line later, but let's move on from now. Here, guys, we will have a function to list everything. So the input here will be a partition, which will be like CZF, and we're gonna list every item in this partition. If we find it, the item is a folder, we're gonna copy our worm to it, and if not, if it was a file, we're gonna move on. Okay, So this is the bash lib module has this method called bash, okay, which when we put the bash on it, that we will call this function with the bash, we're gonna turn it into bash object. After you turn it into bash object like this from here, so these two lines turn every string you put it here into bash object. Okay, so this is a folder will get turned into bash object. After it get turned, we can use methods on it. One of them is glob. Glob is allow you to basically say list everything here. So I give him this is this notation or this mark means like you're gonna list everything. Okay, this is like remove everything. For example, here on CMD, you're gonna type remove. Instead, you're gonna type in every name on the folder. No, you just type this. So it is the same here. We're gonna give you a folder and please list every item on it. And we're gonna say for child on this bash object. We need to do operation on that. We're gonna work on it. So for every item in this folder, we're gonna check if it is a directory. So, and this is also a method from a bash module. This can work after you convert the text folder name into a bash object. Okay, so it's very beautiful module. Okay, if it is a directory, we will call the copy self function. Okay, we're gonna cover it later, or we can cover it here since it's not complex anyway. So if this folder was a directory, you just call the copy function. Copy function has two arguments, the folder that we're gonna give it from here, and the number of time you want to copy our role, which you can make it 1000, anything. You can fill the PC. I just put it 40 here so we can see it. And by the way, 40 multiplied by the size of this exe, it's equal 200 megabytes. What did I type? 200 megabytes. So every time you're gonna see a folder, you're gonna give it a faulty instance or a faulty worm. The total size of this worm is about 200 megabytes. If you're gonna make it double, so if you're gonna make it 80, it's almost a half gigabyte. Okay, and so on. So for the range of the copies, which means until you reach 14, you need to copy our worm multiple times. Okay, let's explain this line. We're gonna say shuttle, which has a method copy, which take the source first, then the destination. So you're gonna find the file here, copy it to this destination. Okay, so but it need to take full bash, so we can't simply just type the normal file name. Okay, it need to take the full bash. So we're gonna use here os.bash.join. This method join the folder name with the file name. Okay, so we're gonna use os get current working directory. Don't focus about this now, just focus here so don't get confused. Here we're gonna get the current working directory of the exe. So this will just blend the full bash to the folder that exe will run on, and this system argument 0 will just give the name of the exe, and the join will join them together. So it will be something like this. First, this will give the folder name. So for example, it will be Z folder 1. Maybe if it was in another folder, child folder. Okay, and this arg0 will just give the name of the exe, which will be warm exe, and then bas.join just will gonna join them together like this. Okay, as I told you, this is needed for the shuttle.copy. It just take full bas. If you're gonna give it warm exe only, this won't work. Okay, so after we take the, so this is just the base of our wall. You need, after we we give it the base of our wall, we need to give it the folder that we will copy it to, and this is the folder that we take from list all function. Okay, it will give us all the folders on the OS. So you just put the folder plus the name. Okay, so we can't just give the folder only that we'll copy to. We need to give what our exe after will get moved to this folder, what will be its name. Okay, we're gonna call it any name. We're gonna call it your average name, your average word. And we need to make something here very important. We need to create a new name for each one. So this is the format string. We're gonna put here I, so it will be average one number 1, average one number 2, like this. If we didn't do this, it won't copy itself 40 times, because every time the one will find itself copying to the same name. Okay, so you can't have multiple files with the same name, so you need to change it every time. And as I told you, the copy method take full passes, so the folder pass plus the file name, and of course the double slash, because this is Python. And if we need to put this on try except, let's remove this, because sometimes you will get a folder that you can't write into because permissions and stuff, and see, and we don't want our worm to crash, our exe, because this is the worst thing that can happen if your exe crash. So this will make sure if it couldn't to write to this folder due to permission or due to anything, we will continue, we will pass. Okay, and this is like the fuel. This is what we're gonna feed to our list function. This is just names of all the letters. I actually removed C from here because C will, if you're gonna write to C, you're gonna need, will give you permission error, and we can try to bypass these permissions by some commands and some stuff here, but this typically the antivirus will flag it because it doesn't like when you write something into C and system32 and this stuff. So we will fill all the other partition. Okay, so we're gonna create a list and put everything but not C, and for each object on this list, please call our list all function. Okay, and list all will do the job as I told. And for this line, I actually put this line. This is just will get the desktop of the user. So I make sure that we fill the desktop at least from the C. So every time the class will get called, it will fill the C. So this is the C users, and here we need to type the name. So, but we don't know the name of our target, so we're gonna pass this method. This method os dot this method called get login, and the os module will give the name. Okay, so it will put the name here and the desktop. So, and we'll call the copy self. Copy self will copy the one, as I told you, 40 times to this directory. And we simply call our class with the function iteration, okay? And iteration will just do the job. This is very small but beautiful, and I think it will give you the idea how to list every folder and how to fill it with worms. You can add many stuff. For example, you can, after he copy itself a lot of time, you can give a simple command here to open all these worms at one time. It will help the PC, because you are basically will open thousands of exe at one time. You can do a lot of stuff also, and also the programming classes, as I told you, will help you to make you can import some of these methods to work with other your files and compile them to exe. Okay, and now let's go to combining. This is the one. This we have our file, and we have the icon. We will type by installer and no confirm, and no console. We don't need our console, and step and one file. And we will give it the path of our icon, which is called monster.icon, and our file, and that's it. And it is done, guys. Now we got our worm here, our beautiful worm, 505 megabyte. It will do the beautiful effects that you see here, and it will loop to every rotation here. So for example, you're gonna open this, you're gonna see some beautiful stuff here. So, and it is we specify here 14. You can make this number as much as you like, and this is 200 megabytes. So this is basically mean every time you're gonna see a folder, you're gonna increase its size by 200 megabyte, and you can make it much more. And that's it, guys, for this video. I will see you in the next one. Welcome, guys, to our XOR encryption. The idea is just our exe will read all the files on the system and will encrypt it and write it back using XOR. Our C code will have this function. First function will take a file and read its bytes, and then gonna send these bytes to a write function, which will XOR these bytes and write it again to the file. But first, we need to get all the files on the system. How we will do this in C? This is a little bit complicated in C, but it is worth it because C is very fast. When you make XOR encryption C like this in language like C, it will be very fast. But and it also will get used to this when I will explain it. But I will talk about it here first. This Windows 32 find data, it is a structure in C to get properties about a file name, and it also to give properties about directory also. So it will take a list of stuff like files and directories, and we can use it to tell about this property is a file or directory, and we can also get the name. We will use these three functions. There's a function called find first file. will just get the first file in the directory that you are in. So, and this is, by the way, is normally the dot file. If when you use cmd, you use cd dot. This means change directory to this location. What is this location? This is just a constant in all of Windows folders. You will have this, the dot and the double dot. Double dot is a constant to the outside folder. If you're gonna press set or change directory to double dot, will go backward, and we go again. And you're gonna, if you do change directory to leave the dot, will do nothing because you're already here. And then, so this function will give the list all of the files, the dot and the double dot and the text and all the files on the count directory. But I had to mention the dot and the double dot because it will give us a problem, because when we're gonna find the first file, it will be the dot, and we're gonna pass the dot to the read bytes, it will give an error to the write bytes, so we need to exclude the dot and the double dot. And then we're gonna go to the next functions, the next files, and we're gonna read bytes and write. Okay, now let's go to our code, which is number 4. I'm gonna open it. This is just simple. We're gonna include sted, input output debugging, and Windows, and sted.let. And this is just the prototype of the functions. Prototype for list files and prototype for write bytes. I will start with explaining read bytes. Again, I don't want you to get confused. We'll just have the function to read, function to write, and the function to list all the files. Okay. Our first function will just take an argument as a pointer to character, or just file name, if you can, array, anything you want to call it. And we will first declare a variable called bytes to hold the bytes in the file, and we will need a pointer to the file. This file is important. This pointer, this is to know which files we're gonna open. So we're gonna use the open function here to open this file name at write mode and byte mode, read binary mode. And this if open will return a pointer to this variable here. And I add this for debugging. If you if this pointer is null, failed to open for reading. This will not get printed when we use this exe for production. We're gonna hide the console so it won't get printed, but as for now, we can add it for debugging, as if you try to open some files or write to some files which have permission, like files on Windows 32, System 32, you might get an error, so I was putting this for debugging. Anyway, we can remove it also, because if you fail to open a file, we won't encrypt it anyway. But I don't want you to get confused by it, so if you're gonna remove it, it's okay. But overall, we just open a file, but we need to get the length of this file, so we're gonna use fseek and rewind. Fseek gonna take the pointer, and we're gonna start from the beginning and we'll reach the end. So start with the file and reach the end. So when the pointer reaches the end of the file, we need to get to get that value. So we're gonna use the ftil with the pointer to get the size. So now the file pointer will be pointing to the end of the file. We need to get it back again to the start. So we're gonna use rewind. But what this all will do is just give us the size of the file in bytes. So we will use our malloc function to allocate this number of bytes to the buffer we create, and we will just read the content of the file to this buffer. So if we just take the file pointer and the size of that file, we got it here, and we're gonna read one by one. This means we're gonna read 1 byte by 1 byte until we fill this buffer. So what this buffer will have, it will have just the content of our file that we opened, the binary content. Okay, and we will close that pointer after we finish, but we will pass this content to the write bytes function. We're gonna pass the buffer and the file name and the size. Okay, so let's go here, because now we will call this, and then after the call end we will return here. But now we are in the call, so first we're gonna create a pointer to file. Again, same method. I don't want you to get confused by this. If you are not expert in C, this is just a pointer to file, like a pointer to integer or pointer to characters. This is just a simple Windows method to open files in C. And then we will open it now, but by the way, this is the same file because we called this function with the file name, so we're gonna open it now, but in read and write binary mode. And again, this for debugging. If the file pointer is null, we didn't open it for write. So because this function usually return integer value here. And we're gonna do our encryption loop here. This loop will just XOR the buffer content, which we take it from the write function from the read function, and XOR it with this key FF, and return it again. So if you don't know what this means, this is just line look like this: buffer equal buffer itself XORed with this value. This is just for shortcut. I'm sure you already know this, but I'll just say it. So every byte in the file will get XORed with this key FF. You can change it as long as it is 1 byte. You can type 10 or 8 or anything, but don't go more than 1 byte. And we're gonna XOR it with this byte, and we're gonna write it again. We're gonna write the content again to the buffer. Okay, and we will do this to the size which we take here. What this size is equal to is equal to the bytes, the length of the bytes of the file that we opened. Okay, and then after we finish, we're gonna just use fwrite function. Fwrite function takes the pointer to the file that we want to write to and the size, and we're gonna write one by one, and we're gonna write the buffer here, which is the data after got encrypted, and we'll close the file pointer. After we close the file pointer, we will be here. We will just gonna freeze the buffer that we allocated using malloc. Where's malloc? Malloc is here. We're gonna freeze the buffer. This is important in C to free the memory, because if you see this is just if you're new to C, or this is just you allocate memory and you free it. If you don't allocate it, or your program will keep taking large amount of memory that you used in the task manager. If you want to see it, you don't use the free. If you, for example, allocate 500 megabyte and you don't use the free buffer, it will keep using this 500 megabytes. Okay, so this is just the file. When you pass it to the read and to the write, get encrypted and get write back again. Now how we list all the files, guys. Okay, here in main we just gonna put don't focus about this now, I will go with this later, but now main function have this, have the location of the file. I use dot, so this means I wanted to encrypt all the files in my current directory, and we were gonna pass it to the list files. So list files will take the location that we want. For example, you can use Z or C or X partition. You can use a folder name here. For example, this can get to be like this, Z. And this function will list all the files and pass it to the read function. Okay, let's go with this slowly, because this may get a little bit confusing, but I promise you, if you stay with me and also gonna try it with yourself, you're gonna find it very easy. First we're gonna create a pointer to character, which is a fallback, which will, when we will allocate the max path. Max path is just the max length of bytes the path in Windows can hold. Like for example, if you're gonna type Z folder file.txt, this is the path of the file. How long of bytes does this path take? The max path means the maximum path in Windows that a file can be get, because the file can be inside of 10 different files, but there's a max path for that. So we're gonna allocate this path to this pointer to character, and we're gonna use a printf to put the directory path that we pass it here to this full path. But we're gonna use this specifier first by using sn printf. So if, for example, this was Z, we're gonna put Z here, and this we're gonna pass also the size of this variable. We're gonna again we're gonna pass the max path. So full path will have something like Z partition, I mean, or maybe folder, if we're gonna say folder name. And now we need to list all the files in this partition. So we will call the structure that I told you about here, which is Windows 32 find data. We're gonna create an instance of that structure called, we're gonna call it file properties, which will take the properties of our file, and we're gonna use our find first file function. This function just take a directory and give you a handle to the first file, but it also pass the information about the first file in this structure in Windows 32 find that. So we're gonna create a variable from a variable has the type handle, and we're gonna call this function and give the folder name and the address of this structure. So this structure will have information about the files in the count in this directory. For example, if we're gonna go ls here, so it will take this file and this file, and we're gonna able to get information. This is a file or directory. You're gonna know what is the name of this file. We're gonna know. So, and it also give a handle back. So do two things. It just give information in this structure address, and return a handle to that file. And we're gonna do a do while loop. This do while will take this may get confusing, but I'll try to explain it. Just find first file and find next file function. With this function, we're gonna keep looping until we reach all the files on the current directory. Find first file will give us this folder, and we're gonna find the next file. It will keep go like this one by one until the end. So we're gonna do a do while function. First of all, we're gonna string compare if file properties dot c file name was equal to this, equal to dot, and if it was equal to double dot, or if it was equal to double dot, we're gonna continue. We won't gonna do nothing. Continue means we're gonna go back here again. We're gonna go back here. We're gonna go to find the next file, okay? Because again, if we pass this to our read function, and to our write function will give us an error because there's no bytes here. So this line just to pass the dot and the double dot which exist on all Windows directories. Okay, so we're gonna pass this one, and we're gonna pass this one, and we will be here. This will be our first valid file or folder. So we will by the way, C file name, it is a property of this variable in this structure. There's a dot. If you don't know it, just C small and file name. If we're gonna blend this will give us the name. So for example, if we're gonna run it here, we're gonna blend it. It will give us test, and after we loop one more time, will give us encrypt return. Okay. And we're gonna use smprintf again to write this file name next to our directory. For example, if this was Z, it will be Z slash the name of the file, which will be maybe text file. In our case, if we're gonna pass the dot, which means our current directory will give us dot slash encrypt C, and it will give us this one. So it will be something like this: X partition file.text. This will be the content of full path after this operation. This is just a specifier to hold the X here, and this is specified to hold the name, which is file.text. So this is the final result, will be something like this. Okay, and why we need to do this? We need to include the full path of the relative path of our file. So our exe can handle it. So when we pass it to the read function, we'll give him a valid pass, not something like this only. This will exe will not able to find it, or the program won't able to find it. Okay. So okay, I will keep this here to if you guys confused, you will know that this implementer, if he'll do this to our full pass, we'll have this for something like this. It could also have a folder, by the way. It could be something like this too. Folder, not a file. Because like for example here it will have the test. Okay. So we need to know if this object here is a folder or a file. Because if it was a file, we'll pass it to the read function. If it was a folder, we will just open it again. How we will do this? We're gonna use again the properties structures that we created from the Windows 32, which has the name and also the type. If it was a directory, it will have this file attribute directory. So we're gonna just type if file properties keyword file attributes. If it was ended by file attribute directory and return true, this means that this object is just a folder. So we're gonna do something beautiful here. We're gonna call this function again, list files, our main function here. So I will say it again. I don't know if I'm being boring by repeating, but or maybe some guys just got it here, and I'm sure some guys here just experience in C. But I'm saying it if someone get confused about the Windows API functions here to make it easy. So again, we're gonna save the if the full pass here got something like this, X folder, we can pass it to our read function, read byte function. So we're gonna call our list function to it again. Okay, this means if you find a directory, go into it and encrypt all the content of it also. Else means that we find a file, not a directory. So we're gonna just call the read byte function with this file. So this will be pass this to our read bytes function. Of course, it can be exe or anything, any type will get encrypted image, anything get encrypted. And I just print this for debugging and for understanding. We won't gonna need this, but we're gonna need it just to look. Okay. So we take the file, we send it to our read byte function to get encrypted. Okay. But we need to get the handle of the next file. Okay. So here we're gonna use the find next file function. It just takes the handle and the address of the structure. It will give the handle of the first file, which means we're gonna modify it. It will modify this handle to give you the handle to the next file, and it will modify the properties also. Okay. So what this will mean after we finished our operations on this, the first file here, or the first directory, it will go like this. Keep repeating after to finish all the objects on the directory. Okay, so now it will, for example, will take this file, give a handle to it, and will give a properties to it. So we go back here again. Gonna keep doing this again and again and again, and if we find the folder, we go inside it. So we're gonna if you pass a partition to this function like C or Z, or it will not go until it will try to encrypt everything on it. Nothing will escape. And after we finish, we're gonna close the file handle, and we will free the paths that we allocated from malware, so our malware be good malware that doesn't crash the memory. Okay, now it's time to compile. We will do gcc encrypt.exe. I want you to use the strip flag. This is very powerful. So our exe is just 22 kilobytes. Beautiful exe. And we will just gonna run it. By the way, I put a file here. So this is our test. We have a file in our current directory, and we have also a folder that contain a simple file here. Have a password. Open it like this. I want to open it in normal notepad. This is the content of this file, and this is the content of this file. We can create another file here. We can type to it any data, and we can also get something like video or exe. And okay, guys, we have some files here for test. We have the first file here, which is just a text file. Okay, this is okay. Let's say well, one for you. This is the content, and this is calc.exe. This is just the Windows calculator. And this is a video.
Keep my eyes on, even if he's.
As you can see, they are all working, and we have also a folder here to test if our exe find the folder will able to encrypt the content of it or not. And we will run it. And that's it. Look. First of all, the video is not working because it got encrypted. And calc.exe, this app can't run. And we're gonna see this content. It was I will come for you. It will look something like this. So it did encrypt everything. Nothing gonna work ever. And let's look about this. It also destroys this. By the way, it's just a 22 kilobyte exe. Right now I'm gonna show you simple way to just make it encrypt everything on the PC. No, because we don't wanna reload it. So in our main function here, in our last example, we pass this as the start to list file encrypted. What if we passed the partition of our target machine, but we don't know the partition's name? Like in my machine, I could have a partition named F or B or C. You won't know. So we're just gonna solve this easy. We will create a for loop that loop to every character. Like this. We're just gonna create an array, two-dimensional array to have A, B, C, Z, E, F, O, everything. Okay. You may notice you may want to skip the C. C partition will have a permission errors when you try to write to it, okay? So you won't able to encrypt files on C. So you may want to skip the C, or you may just gonna leave it because our program won't crash. It'll just try to encrypt if it was able to, and if it won't, it will continue. So you can remove C because it will take some time also, because it will loop to get every files on the C. It will take a lot of time and won't able to encrypt almost everything. Maybe it will get the desktop or something, but it will take a lot of time. So you may want to remove it, and we're just gonna encrypt everything that not C, okay? And for we're gonna make a loop here. First we're gonna hide this. We're gonna hide these two. So for the size of this array, we're gonna get the size by this method. We're gonna use the size in bytes. We're gonna division it by the first element, and we will call the function list files for every partition. So we're gonna encrypt everything on this PC. By the way, I forget something which I didn't use for debugging because I want to see. We're gonna use a free console. What this will do, just will hide the console. This is included in windows.h, so our malware will run on background and will keep encrypting everything. And that's it, guys. This is a simple one. This is simple but effective one. This is simple in the term of the key, because we create a simple key, but later we're gonna create a very strong one that will survive reverse engineering and survive everything. It will be impossible for someone to get its data, and will also send the key to upload it on the internet to our account. It will be very strong, but for now I try to make a simple one here to explain the basic idea. I hope you guys like it, and I will see you on the next video. Welcome, guys, to our final part here, which is the advanced encryption. This is the final part in coding, and we will create exe Python by using Python to encrypt all the files on the system with a very strong random key, and the key will get uploaded to our account on any uploading site, and the key will get removed. So the target won't be able to get his files, even if he got reverse engineer to reverse engineer the exe. He won't be able to get the key, because the key will be a random key and will be random every time the key the exe will get opened. So let's talk about the functions here. First, we're gonna create a function to create a random key. This will be random every time this function will get called. So this is very good, because the reverse engineer that will try to get the key from this particular exe. He won't find any key written. He will just find a generator that generates random keys every time, and it's impossible for that generator to get the same key twice. I will show you the technical details when we go to the coding part. So after creating a key, the key will get sent to our account on any site, like so this is just will uploading the key, and we will list all the files with your function to list all files on the system, and it will get encrypted, and we will remove the key from the disk. Okay, so let's go to the coding part. Okay, first here I decided to let's remove this for now. I decided to split the code for different files. I find this help me to not get confused. Sometimes when you write a code 300 or 200 line plus, you will get sometimes confused, like where's that function, where you gonna, it is very difficult for the eye to, so I decided to split. I decided to do that when I'm using C or Python or anything, to just split my codes. So we're gonna go to the main function here. We can open it. So what we're gonna do in the main function, first we're gonna import bathlib and OS. I showed you bathlib in the worm when we created the worm, so I talk about it in details there. So and we will import another functions from a file, which we will create these files. I will show you these files are here. I will show you the content. So just gonna import all the functions from this file, and we'll import all the functions from this file. So from the name of the module, import all. This is better than importing every function by its name. So we just gonna import all. Okay. And we will just, this is our name by the way, just a symbol because we divided the functions to these files. We will just gonna call create file and save it here. So let's go to create file, create key, and see what it will do. So create key. This is the XOR encrypt.by that I imported here. We will just call create key from it, and this function is very beautiful. This is will create a random key every time. I will show you how step by step. Okay, for this part, let me open Python here. I will try to start from the basic, guys. Let's try to create a random set of letters here. Let's say I for I in range from 0 by hexa to FF. Okay, and let's just print this. Look at this, just print from 0 to 245, which is FF is 255. Okay, let's try to make a character. Let's try to turn every number from this to its character representation. So look what we got here. We got some letters with the English letters. It's here U, V, W, and we got some maybe from French and some numbers that doesn't have a character representation. And what else? And some signs. Okay. First of all, let's clear the screen. I will do import OS and os.system and CLS. Let's clear the screen. Okay. And let's see here. We need to create a key, random key from these characters, but we need to make sure to get the characters that have a. We need to see. We need to get the characters only. We don't need to get these for our key. Okay, we need our key to be something like this: normal letters and maybe some of these signs. And maybe this is French, so we don't need to do that. So what we're gonna do, we will give the represent, by the way, I give you each character representation, and here, for example, let's give the representation for this. It will be something like this. So when you do a lens for representation for any character, you will find it 3. For example, now it give us 3, and now this weird character will give us 3 too. And if you're gonna pick 9, will give us 3. So every normal character that got representation, it will be has the length of 3. So what if we take this? This is not a character. Nope. It gave us a 6. So what we learned from this, that each valid character will get a length of 3. So we can go to our to this, our array. We type F. The length of the representation of the character. How many I have to put from this? Equal. I put too much. This equal 3. And here we go, guys. I want to try to find the syntax error, so I find it here. Just put another one, and now we will present the only printable characters from these numbers. So what this will say, please print the valid characters on the range from 0 to 255. Okay, and this is our beautiful array. We're gonna create a key from it, but we need to turn it to a string. So we're gonna type array equal to this, and we will say, look at this funny thing in Python when you need to join an array. I personally find this syntax is very funny. We're gonna create a string that has all the character representation of these. So you will see the numbers here, the letters and the weird letters, but it all printable. Okay, we can save it now to variable, and we will just have our variable. Okay, so this is just it. This is the first line here. Here we just create the char bool as a string, character bool, and put it into variable. This is what we just do in here. We're gonna say if the length is equal to 3. And the fun part here, we're gonna import random. Random will give us a beautiful thing here. Let's try to do it. We're gonna say import random, and we'll do random dot choices, and we're gonna put our variable here. And what we're gonna say, we're gonna please give us 16 character from that variable, random. And look at this, just random 6 characters from this beautiful string. So, and we're gonna call it again. It will give you different 6, and if you notice, not just a different, it's just a different in the arrangement. So it's just different on the values and the arrangement. So this is very beautiful. Look, every time we're gonna call this, we will get 16 random value from these, arrange it in random different ways, and we just gonna do the same method again. We're gonna do the join method like this to make it a string, not a array. And we have our, every time we're gonna call this, it will give us, when this will be our key, 60 random variables. It is impossible to call this and get the same value even one time. This is very strong, guys, because our exe every time we will run will give a random values, and he won't never repeat it again. Okay, so this is what we done so far. We put the array of characters, we give the random dot choices, and we give it the variables that have the characters, and we said we want 16 lengths, and we put it into a variable string. We're gonna call it key. Okay, so what next? We need to write this key on the disk so we can upload it. So we're gonna do with open, we're gonna create a file called key, write it or open it in write mode. So we're gonna put W as if, and you put F here, and you write the key, which is the key we created, like I showed you here, something like this. And after you write it to the disk, you will return it also. So let's back to main here. We call it this function from main. So after we do some operations, we return to main. So main here will have the key here, and send, we will do create a function called send. We'll just send the key. Send will just upload it to our website. So let's see what this function send here. This function is just here in a file called upload. I told you I break the code into pieces, into different files, so I won't have 200 line here. This make it very comfortable to edit later, and maybe add some functions here to understand it. Very beautiful thing. So what send take as an argument the name of the file on the disk, and the file we created has the name of key. Okay, so you're gonna take the key. First of all, let's go line by line. Here we're gonna put our website. This is a file .io, and this is my API key. I won't hide it. I don't care if you try to hack me. We gonna go with open. We're gonna open the file, which is the key. We're gonna read it in binary mode as a file, and we will use the import. We use the request module method, which is called boost, which takes the website that you try to boost to it as a first argument, and we take the files and take headers. In files, we're gonna specify the type, which is file. We're gonna give it F. F is here, the file we opened. We need binary. Okay, so here you're gonna give the type, and we're gonna give the variable. Okay, and for the headers, we're gonna give authorization and you put your API here that you will get from the website. Okay, and after this, with open, it will get called, it will be the end, and I'm here try to give myself the download link which I received. If this line is complicated for you, it is not necessary. This is just to give us the link of download, but we already gonna know it because we already created an email here, and we gonna go to our files, we're gonna find the key. So this is a file.io, you can use any website, and you can go to your account here. After you create, please give me an API key. So you're gonna go there and you will create your API key here. You're gonna press create, and you're gonna take one, and you will put it here. You're gonna put your API key here, so you can upload by code a lot of files to it, like we will see. So and you don't need this line. This is just gonna give the link that you can download the file from, but as I mentioned, we already own the account, so we're gonna log in and you're gonna see a look to our files here, and we're gonna find it. So we're gonna continue. After we created the key, we will send it, we'll upload it, and we're gonna call this function, which is list all. What list all take as an argument? It takes the path. What is the path? Will have here. I use the sys.arg, which worked by I give it argument when you're gonna open this exe for testing. In a real scenario, you're gonna give it an array that have all the characters, which is very simple to do. For example, I already did it a lot of times in this course to create an array that have all the characters. It will be something like this for partition in, and we will do something like this. And so on. You're gonna put all the possible partitions, C, Z, E, B, F, all the BC partitions, all folders, all as much as you want to encrypt. And you're gonna say for partition in this list, please, you will just call the function. Okay, just call the function for the partition. But now for our testing, we're just gonna give one folder, and because I want to show you the result. Okay, so we created the key, we uploaded. Let's encrypt all the files. So this function will take the file name, the folder name, or the partition, and we're gonna create it into pass object. For this is by pass lib module. I talked about it before in the worm when we created the worm, and we're gonna give this globe with this character. It's not a character, I don't know what you call it, but this is called asterisk, I think, whatever. And we're gonna after we turn it into pass object, we're gonna ask this object, are you a file or are you a folder? So we're gonna give is file or is folder. If it is a file, you call the encrypt function with the key. The key is here, and we're gonna call encrypt files to this object. Okay, so let's go to encrypt files. Encrypt file is here. It will just open this file. We're gonna pass it here with the key. Open it at the read mode binary. Well, guys, I removed some comment to not confuse you. So we're gonna open the file and read binary mode. We're gonna store the data using the read method, and we will put it in a variable called data. And this is our encryption routine, guys, or algorithm. So we're gonna create a byte of array that has the length of the file, and for every for the length of this file, we will encrypt the data with the first element of our key, and you need to use odd here because key now is considered as a character, so you can't XOR a character with a byte. You need to convert it into integer, because byte is like 0xf or 0xab, so this is an integer value, so we need to make it into a number value. Number is more accurate than integer, so the byte is just a number. Okay, we're gonna convert this by odd method into a number, and we're gonna XOR them together, and we're gonna store them in the byte array that we have created. Okay, so now when we encrypt this, we need to make sure that our key, because our key is only 60 characters, so and this file will have 1,000 characters. So how do you encrypt 60? So how do you encrypt 1,000 characters with 16? We can create a big key to every character of all the files. This will be very large and will be very exhausting for the resources. So we will make our key loop. So after you encrypt the first 16 byte from this file with our first 16, we need to make our key to move back, to start from the beginning and encrypt again. Okay, and this is what these two lines here just do. If we reach the last element of the key, please reset. Else we didn't reach the last element, you just gonna go to the next letter of the key. So this is very simple. And the normal, you just gonna use the first character of the key, then the next, then the next. So you reach the last element, then you reset. Okay. After you finished, you just need to convert this byte array to the normal bytes, because Python can't write byte array into a file. Okay, it just it's built in to write the bytes object to a file. So if you write this byte array right away to the file, it will give you an error. So you just follow the language rules, and we will open the file again that we was encrypting, and we will write the encrypted data back to this file. So this will make our file unencrypted and won't be able to open. Okay, so we encrypted this file, and what we was doing, we was asking if this is a file encrypted. If it is a directory, you call list all again. So we're gonna put it here, and we're gonna list all the files in this directory and encrypt them all. So this will help when you choose, for example, here the best a partition like E or F, and this partition will have folders. So when you encrypt all the files, when you find a folder, you go to it, and you're gonna do the same again. So this, if you choose a partition, will encrypt everything on the sub directories and the big directories. Excuse me, in the partitions and directories and subdirectories and so on. So literally no file will escape when you put a partition here. Okay, and after you finish this function, you just remove the key from the disk. Okay, so you encrypting, you create a key, you did manage to encrypt, or you remove the key. So when a reverse engineer will try to come here, he won't find any key, he won't find anything. Even if he managed to reverse engineer, even we guys, we can't even, as we created this code, we can't even get back to any value we create for it, because it is a random. We will only have the files because we write it and upload it, but we were never able to get the files, and not the reverse engineer or anything. We never able to get the key. Okay, that's all. We're gonna remove the key. This, guys, let's just make. Okay, I didn't say about the encryption, the decryption, so let's talk about it. Here I just write a comment. When combining the decryptor, please comment the next function, the next two function call, and switch encrypt. Okay, so when you try to decrypt, we will close this function like this by commenting it, and we won't send because we are decrypting. So the decrypting will happen when the guys that you encrypted all his files will beg you, please give me the key I want and give me the decryptor. So you when you turn the decryptor into exe, you're gonna do this. You don't create a key, and you won't send it because we are decrypting, and we, as I'm writing here, switch encrypt files with original. So what? So you just comment the encryption, and you're gonna call the original. What original will do? Original will almost do the same thing. Function A original, it will call. It will take the file and open it in a binary mode and read its content, but we'll do something here. Here we're gonna feed it to the key. The key will be just a file that we took it here. This is the key. We're gonna upload it here. So we'll give it to our target, and we'll get read by this, and that's just the same because XOR is reversible by doing the same, XORing the same key. So take the key, XOR it, and you take the decrypted. You're gonna convert the byte array into bytes, and you just write the decrypted to the file. Okay, but now let's test this. So we move to encryption, and we do our test here, and I did prepare some files here for our testing, which is these files. This is just image, and we have this message with the exe that give hello world, and this is just file that has the word hello. And let's open it by Notepad. Okay, this is just this file. So as you see, this is the test file that we will encrypt. So we will just run our main, and we're gonna give it the folder name, which could be partition, which could be anything you want. And now for testing we do it like this, but as I said, in a working scenario, you don't even gonna give argument. You just put it here, fix it, the things that you want to encrypt. So we're just gonna write here the name of the partitions or the folder or the array. But now for testing we are doing this, and we just gonna run it. And it finished. So let's look to our files, guys. Oh, that's not it. There's a problem. Okay, the problem, the folder name is test files, and I write test file, so we're gonna type cs, and it managed to encrypt. Let's look at the content, guys. First of all, as you see, the image can't open. We don't support this file format. And let's look at our exe. This app can't run on your PC. What about the hello? We encrypted the text file also. And look at this. Let's refresh this. Oh, we have the key, but we run the exe twice, so we have two keys. So we're gonna go to the last, the oldest one, which will be this. Oh no, but now we decrypted twice, guys. So we did decrypt it twice with two different keys. As I said, every time we record, we take two different keys. No, the first one we gave it the name of a wrong folder, so I guess I'm sure we did manage to encrypt it one time, so we are okay. So we're just gonna delete this key to not get confused. And we will just download this key, 60 byte length, and we just copy it into our exe for decryption, because we want to test our decryption. Let's name it key, because this is what we name it in our code. And here, this is the file. We need to, as you see, nothing work here, all encrypted, and for video store for anything will give you encrypted result, and text and files will look like this. So we need to decrypt back. Okay, so we will deliver the key like this to the target or the victim. The keys look like something like this. So this is our key that we create, and we just give the victim the decryptor too. So we need to combine the decryptor, so we just give this function which will return the file to its original state, and we don't gonna create a key, and we won't send anything. So, and that's it. By switching these comments, we just have our decryptor. Okay. Of course, you can create an exe, compile by binary store to create an exe for that, and create an exe for decryptor and encryptor to make it two different files. And maybe guys will say combining was, but this is not a compiled language, and they will be right. This is an interrupted language, but I'm used to say combining. By saying this, I mean turning the code into exe. Here in Python, this is not super technical, right? But I know you understand me. So what now? Now we put the key next to our exe or to our file, and we're just gonna type Python main, and we type the name of the folder, test files, and everything got encrypted, guys. They're decrypted. Let's look at our files. Okay, where's our files? We go to our test files and look. Hello. And this is the image. As you see, it is already working. Let's see this. Hello. And this is the message box. And this is do you want something? Yes, okay. By the way, this is a good idea for malware. You press yes, it's mailed to your PC. You just know it is a registry. Anyway, we did manage to create our advanced key encryption, and that's it for this video. And the next videos I will talk to you about very important concept on creating malware. So I hope to see you in the next video, guys. Welcome, guys. Now we're gonna create the most advanced undetectable keylogger on Earth. And this, the output of this keylogger. He will give you the window like this. This is a Microsoft Edge window. And he will tell you what the user type on keyboard while this window is open. So it won't just print random keystrokes everywhere. No, he will tell you when the user open, for example, here Notepad, and write int var 1 plus his this is equivalent for equal, and they type it 3-4. So it will be very advanced. It will give you the window, and it will give you what keystrokes he typed in this window. Like here he typed www.google and he typed E, then he pressed backspace to remove this E, and he mistakenly put dot again, and he backspace, remove it, and he typed com, and it will be undetectable, and it will be about 20 kilobytes. It will be very efficient, very fast, very undetectable. It will take 0 resources from the user. So I will tell you the content of this keylogger. We will have the main 5 functions. I try to be you can create a keylogger in Python, by the way, but it will be very exhausting for the resource. So if the target may notice, because it may see on task manager that the device is getting slow, or something, or some program is taking a lot of the resources on processor. So when you create it and see it, sure it more difficult, but it will be stealthy, fast, undetectable, because of course you know the advantage of C over Python, so it will be very strong. The main function here, we're gonna set window hook X. This function will hook, like you put a hook on a Windows. You hooked on this in all the programs to inspect when a user press keyword. But also you can use this to hook and listen for mouse when user click. It got a lot of uses, but it mainly hook and wait for something, inspect something. And this function, the get message, it will get the key stroke and will send it to this function. No, it will send it to this function, which we're gonna create. This is just setting a hook, and when the message, which will be equivalent when a user press a key, will call this function. And we will have a function that called my window. This function will just print the current window. For example, if user is opening PowerShell, it will write PowerShell. And we will have a function that writes the key into a file to open a file in append mode and write the key. Let's go to the program. It is actually two programs. I will show you. If I press keylogger here, we will have two programs. Let's remove this for now because we will compile it. We will have we will have two C files, but when we compile it will be one exe. Let's remove this also. So now I have two files. I have just keystrokes and we have a get window. Surely I included std for debugging to print, and of course the windows, because it will have all these functions we're gonna use. I will start with the simple one. I won't start from the end main. I will start with the simple one to make the explaining a lot easier. This function just take a key, which is like up or down or A, B, C, any key the user press, and will open a file and write it to it. So we first to open a file in C, you need to create a pointer for the file. So we're gonna create the handle, or we can call it the file pointer, anything. We're gonna open this file, we're gonna call it strokes.file in append mode. Of course, we can't open it in write mode, because when you open it in write mode, it will remove the content of the file each time you're gonna write to it. So this is important. And we're gonna create a character that calls this function. This function called my window, we specified in another file to make the program easy to read. Don't worry about this, I will tell you everything when it comes. My window, this is just a Windows API function. It just called get foreground window. It just return a variable from tiled handle. So we just call it, and we're gonna call get window text. So it takes the handle and it takes the buffer and it takes the length. So we're just gonna create a buffer here. I will tell you slowly so you don't get confused. First of all, to get the window in Windows, from Windows API, you need get foreground window. To give a number, this is just a number, and this get window text take a number for the window, and it will give you the name. So again, don't get confused. You can just this get window take a handle, which will be just a number. When you give it the number, it puts the name of the window in the buffer. So we just create a buffer here. We create this, we use malloc. We're gonna put the size, and we will take the handle of our current window here, and we will pass that handle here to this function to give us the name, and we're gonna return the handle. So it's very easy. So every time a key will get sent to this function, it will call the my window function to know which window was opening at the time the user pressed that key. Okay, and guys, we need to know if the user changed the window. So this couple lines will just check if the user changed the window. For example, if he create another program to know. So we will create pointer to character called alt title. We're gonna set it to null. I will tell you why we use static data, and we will just check if the alt title is not equal to null, and we're gonna compare the old title with the current title, the current title we receive it every time the user click on the keyboard. And if the comparison is equal to 0, which means that the window didn't change, we just write the key to the file. Okay, we're gonna go to fwrite function. I'm sure okay, I will just explain it if you don't know it. This write function, first it will need the handle to the file, which we got it here from fopen function. The file pointer is more professional name, the pointer to the file, and it will take the length of the message we wanna write it to the file, or the string. And the string here is just the key, which will be something like up, down, shift, number. Okay, and it take what do you we specify one here. It mean like we gonna write 1 byte at a time until we reach this size, and we're gonna give her the key. The key is just we will pass it to this function. So every time you can build the window and you see it is the same window, you just keep writing the keys to the file. Else, which means if the old window is different from the new window, which means the user could opened another program. Okay, so we need to put a new line, okay, to not mix everything. So put a new line, and we will put the name of the window which is received here from this title. Okay, and we will put another new line. So here it will put to the file something like PowerShell or Chrome or any exe, and we put a new line. Okay, and we just write the key. So here all this is just easy. You just put the file pointer and the string, the length of our window. I need you to get comfortable with fwrite. It just take pointer to file and the length, the total length of the string we wanna write to the file, and we write 1 byte each time, and the string. So the one easy, and here the string of the title which we received from my window function. Everything is very simple here. And we will put at the end all the title which equal to title. So all title will be the new title. So when we loop again here, every time it will compare. But we need to define static. Static just mean we're gonna declare this only one time. And we will close the file handle after we finish. Okay, so this function is just gonna take a key and write it. Very simple function. We're gonna go now to the main. Don't get confused. I will give you the code so you can study it again and again. I'll give you the full code, but I like to explain the simple thing easier, so I won't go to the hard things, so you may get scared or something. This is just, we're gonna type free console. This is the simplest line here in this code, which means we can hide the console. We don't want our keylogger to have a window, and we're gonna create our set Windows hook X function. I talked to you about this function before. It just put a hook on the windows, just like to put a knife on the operation system or something to hook. Okay, this function we're gonna it return a hook type, so we're gonna create a variable type which has a type of hook, and the function take this parameter. Here we will give it wh keyboard ll, and it will take the function that we create. This is like the logic. The logic, when each time a key get blocked, what do you want to do with this key? So this is like the logic when your hook is activated, okay? So don't get scared by this. And this is null and zero. So in Windows API function, you don't actually need to memorize everything. So for me, when I try to use Windows API function, by the way, Windows API function, you use it by including windows.h. So what I mean by Windows API is these functions that is built in the Windows. So you know you don't need to memorize it, okay? So I will show you. So I'm now wanting to create a hook. I want to use this function. So what I will do, I will just gonna open here, type set window hook, and you will find Microsoft give you everything that you need to know, okay? So here gonna tell you first, it's gonna tell you description, install an application defined hook, and you install a hook to proceed a monitor system for certain types. So it will tell you a very beautiful description here, and will give you even the syntax and the return type. So first of all, you're gonna know that this function will return a H hook type. So you will create a H hook type, you're gonna call it hook or anything, and it will tell you everything about this function. So it first of all, it takes the ID of the hook, and you will say, okay, I don't know what ID hook mean. It will explain the parameter here. It will tell you it is an integer value, which will have these values. You can use anything from here. So we're gonna find a lot of different hooks, install a hook to inspect foreground, to get message. Oh, and look what we found, our hook that we wanna use. Install a hook procedure that monitor low-level keyboard input or event. Okay, so this is how I used this parameter. I just used what they tell me that they tell you if you wanna use a hook to monitor low-level keyboard event. So I just copy this and put it here. Very simple. Okay. And what about the second parameter here? It's called the hook block. Okay. I don't know what this means, so I will just follow what they say about this parameter. The type hook block, a pointer to a hook procedure. So if this is 0, specifies the identifier of a thread created by a different process. The LBF in parameter must point to the hook procedure on the bill. Otherwise, LBF in can point to a hook procedure on the code associated with the current process. And this is what we did. We just type the name of our function. Okay. And so for the second parameter, it will give you hmode, a handle to a del containing hook procedure pointed to by the LBF parameter. The hmode parameter must be null if this parameter specify a state created by a count process. Okay, so if the parameter specify state created by the count process, we're gonna give it null, and this is in our case is true, so we're gonna give null. Okay, what about the last parameter, the identifier of the sled? And it will tell you for desktop, if this parameter is 0, the hook is associated with all the existing running in the same desktop. So what this mean? This mean you're gonna type a number to the applications that you want to listen, or they want to inspect the keystrokes, but we want to listen to all the applications, so we're gonna put 0. We won't give a number for a current application. We're just gonna print 0 to hook all the application. Okay, so this is, by the way, how you use every Windows API function. You just gonna type its name. You don't have to memorize all these parameters. So you just open here, you type the name of the function, and you follow it. You will find it very easy. Okay, and this is for debugging. Or if hook returned null, you just return null. It means that you will exit, you won't continue. And our get message function. This function just will keep listening for when a message, which will every time a key will get pressed, it will give a description for that event of key, and we'll put it here. And it also will call our result function. Okay, so I don't. If this was confusing, I will say it in a simple way. Every time this function will get called, when a key will get blocked, get pressed, it will call our function, which is the keyboard block function. Okay, so here I will give a review for all this. You just put a hook function, like you say, please I want to inspect keyboard, and here you say every time keyboard will get blocked, you're gonna call this function. So let's go and see what this function will do. First of all, we need to type result. What this will do, will make this function call it, because this function will call a result function. So we need to specify this. This is just a Windows function standard thing. So this message will call the result function. Okay, you probably know how. You see that we didn't even call it. We didn't call this function by anything here. But this is just typical here. This get message function will call the function that will start with this. Okay? And we need to put here the state call. This is the standard calling convention for Windows. And we just type the name of our function. So don't get confused. This is just standard thing here. These two words are just standard with get message and the hook. So don't get scared or something when you gonna type for Microsoft. You're gonna find this value, so you don't have to memorize or anything. Just as constant. And our function here. Our function will have the code, which is this is just a value. Every time a key will get pressed, it will give a value here. And the wparam function, wparam variable, and lparam. So wparam will just know if the key got pressed. It have a values like this, like WM key down, which means I'm now currently pressing on the key. And it has also WM key up and a lot of things, but we don't need it. So this parameter will tell you if the key got pressed down. And this will tell you information about which key got pressed down. It will give you like a constant value. Will constant value for all the keys on the keyboard. So it's just simple. When get message function, we'll call this function when a key got blocked. It will give a number and it will give if the key was down or up, and it will give also information about which key. Okay, and here we're gonna need to check for important thing here. If the key is above 0 and it just the W param is equal, that we specify here, is equal to down. This means if that the user just pressed on a key. And all, we're gonna use all here, all WM sys key down, because in this in Windows API, if I pressed something like Alt or Control, this will not get passed as a WM key down. It will get sent as a system. So this alone not enough. This will mean if a user type a number or character, but this for the system key, the system keystrokes. Okay. So this is for so nothing confusing here. This is for numbers and character, and this is for alt and key. And it should be bigger than 0, because typically every time key got pressed, it will give a value bigger than 0. So if less than 0, there is an error. Okay, so we won't call it. First of all, I want to check if the caps lock key is pressed, because if it is pressed, the key will be in uppercase. It will be like this. So I need to make sure, because we need to make a smart keys to lock, we need to know if the user type on lowercase or uppercase. Okay. So we're gonna type the get key state, which is a function which will be true if the key is if this key is up. VK capital is the Windows constant for caps lock, and you don't need to memorize the Windows constant. You're just gonna type it on Google, and you will see every constant for every key. Okay. So if this is true, we will create a structure from this type, kbd lhook struct, and we will pass our L param to it, and we're gonna convert it to this type. Will be a pointer to this type, and we're gonna put the value here. This is just to make it easy. This is just information about the key, but we need to convert it to this type and put it into a value. Okay, pointer to this structure, this kbd lhooks struct, so we can get information about this key, the name or the VK code, like here. This is just standard thing. So every time you're gonna create a key local, we're gonna do the same thing again and again. It will get very easy. If it is confusing now, don't worry about it. With practice, it will be very easy. And this structure, we're gonna need the V code value from it. By the way, this is the V code value for caps lock. Okay. So and it is just an integer value also. So this is have a constant number. You can use this, or for example I can use 15 to if I want to know if caps lock is on or not. So we're gonna, every time a key will get pressed, we will take this information about this key, we're gonna convert it to this structure, and we're gonna get the V code. So what we will do with this V code, you're gonna call this array. You're gonna get the value from this array. What this array have? This array is actually defined here by this simple line, extern constant pointer to character array. We put it here on a different file, so we won't get confused by a lot of stuff. This is just a simple two-dimensional array that have this is the V code, okay, and this is the equivalent. So for example, this value here, this is just a number, by the way. So it will be like when a user press 32, press space, the system will send 32 number, the number 32 here, okay? So I make my program when 32 get called, get indexed here from this array, you just type this to our file, okay? If, for example, 48, you need to write 0, you need to write 1, you need to write 2. You need to write, if it takes 75, write K, okay? So again, here the structure, it has a variable called V code, and this is just integer values. This value can be 15 or something. So if it was 15, you're gonna write 2, because this is the 15 equivalent to 2. This is how Windows see stuff. You want you just see this number, just see a number equivalent, okay? So he see 56, but we need to see what 56 mean. It mean is equal to A. By the way, we can Google this stuff and you will get it. So it is just a standard value for every key. So I just put it here on array. So when you give this, you take this value, for example, it will be something like A or B. You just call the write function, which I talked to you about earlier. You just call it and you write it to the file. So, and that's it, guys. We created very strong very low level keylogger. And I will show you, and here we just call this function is just unhook window. This is just a release to release the hook from the window to not give to not exhaust the system resources. And now let's go to compile it. So this is our two files here, guys. To get two files, we compile it together. We just type it like this next to each other, and we're gonna specify the output, and let's make it called advanced keylogger.c.exe, and we need to give this beautiful flag here strip, and we need to give static to make it work in every Windows, and we're gonna press enter, and we will wait, and we have a 27 kilobyte keylogger, guys. This is very beautiful. Imagine if you have a keylogger that have literally no size. Let's try it, guys. See, it just opened and escaped, because this is the effect of our beautiful function here, free console. And let's try to write something. Let's write something here. I am on Notepad. Okay? Let's try to write something on PowerShell. Let's try I am on PowerShell. Let's check the keystroke file. See, create a keystroke file. Look how beautiful is this, guys. I am on Notepad. So it gives the title of the window. So the user type I, which is me, as in am on Notepad, and the user change the window so it will give a new line, like I told you, in the write function, and it will write I am on PowerShell. Okay, and this is you can change this values. For example, this here, the space before it was the V code Windows for space, which was something like VK space, something like this. So I'm changing it. By the way, this can be something like left control. You can change it also to just write a control here by going to this array and, for example, removing this delete and type a normal delete. Okay, and you can do everything, and this is will print something like this, and this is F1. You can remove the bracket and remove this, and you will have the most. I will show you something very beautiful here. Look at this. It takes 0 from the CPU and it take half megabyte here. Look, by the way, I'm using it now. I'm pressing keys. Let's not type here. Okay, but I'm using it, by the way, and it just take nothing. So the user won't typically kill a program that it doesn't do anything, because of course we gonna change its name to, and also to social engineering. I'm sure you know about this, and this is very beautiful. And here we go, guys. We created our beautiful keystroke, and for sure I don't need to tell you it will bypass Microsoft Windows Defender here. He even doesn't see that this program has any behavior, because it's very simple. And that's it. We created our beautiful keylogger, undetectable, and 27 kilobytes keylogger. And I will see you on the next video. Welcome, guys, to our topic today, which is the malicious DIL. So why we can create a DIL? The reason is, when you create an exe and the antivirus scan it, it may find that your exe is creating suspicious activity. So the logic here is, we just divide the code and put part of it in .dil and some part on exe, or even you can put all the code on the .dil files, and your exe will work as just a loader. This technique helps a lot to make the antivirus scan the exe, and it will find it very safe. It just doesn't do anything suspicious. And the DIL itself, it will be the same. it is alone doesn't do anything, because it doesn't even execute anything, but the loader will be on the exe. So this is very beautiful technique. I tested myself. It didn't even flag once for any .del I do. I hope it will make you also have this ability to create fully undetectable malwares. So let's jump to the theory. So first we're gonna create our del, and I will show you how using C. And we're gonna create a exe which will have two functions. First function, it will be load library A and get process get loc address. This is will get the address of the function from the library that we're gonna load. This will help us to execute the functions that we call. And for today's video, I decided to write the code in front of you from A to Z. I was in the last videos I was get the code ready, because sometimes when I write code I get some syntax error, and it takes some time to fix them. So and I wasn't wanna waste your time. So, but today I feel very strong, so I will write it from scratch, and hopefully doesn't get a lot of errors. Okay, let's jump in. So now I created the folder called malicious del, and we will first start by creating two files, one for the del and one for the exe. Let's call this my del.c, and we will create another file for the exe. Let's call it loader.c, and let's open my del.c. So first we're gonna include windows.h, which we will use it. Okay, and now we're gonna create a function. Let's create a function which is doesn't return anything. Will be void, and let's call it delete everything. And this is what our function will do. It's just gonna delete all the files on the same directory. So how we will do this? We will use the system which is from windows.h. We're gonna type PowerShell.exe, remove all, but if you do this, you will get a prompt which will ask you, are you sure do you want to delete all this? And it will also, if there's a folder, will tell you that there's a folder here. So we're gonna use this beautiful flag, which is equals and false. These flags will ignore everything and melt everything. Okay, and that's all. This is just our simple function. So okay, and wait, I wanted to put something for debugging, because sometimes you want to see the result if there is an error. So I will just put pause here, which is just a cmd command to pause. So because if this command, for example, didn't work, I want to see why exactly it will work. And that's pretty much our simple function here. So let's compile it and type gcc my del. Okay, but first we're gonna put our flag for creating dels called shared, and the output is my del.del. And he says he didn't put semicolon. Okay, This is Python mistake. Okay. Too much Python can hurt you. And we have our del files, guys. You didn't create del files before, it is beautiful files, you will love it. Okay. And antivirus respected a lot, even if it has malicious thing. And what else? We're gonna create our loader, then we're gonna go loader.c. So gonna include windows.h, and we will include std for debugging also, and we will create our main function here. So, and we will see our logic here. Our logic was to load the library first. So we're gonna use load library, and this is something I wanted to write it from scratch here to show you guys that in Windows API function you don't need to memorize the return types, the arguments, because sometimes you will have function like create process, it takes like 12 arguments and they all have different types, pointers and not simple types, so it's almost impossible to memorize the Windows API function. So the method that people use and I like use is just simply go here and type load library 8, and you just follow the Microsoft documentation and you'll show the function. You will get a very beautiful description here, and it will tell you how to use it. First of all, it returns H module type. So we're gonna go to our code and we're gonna type H module. Okay. We're gonna create a H module file. We're gonna call it handle. We're gonna call it library handle. So we need to make names that make sense. And we will write our function load library 8. Okay, so what is the argument to this function? I'm acting as I don't know. So you will find some strange things sometimes, but it's okay. You will see the name. And we're just gonna look at the description. So what does this parameter mean? Lib file name, long pointer, library file name. Okay, so let's act that we don't know. The name of the module. This can either be a library, module, a .del file. Okay, this is exactly what we wanna do. So we don't need to follow, and the return type is H module. Okay, let's go to our code, and we're gonna type our del name, which was my del dot del. Okay. So after we loaded our del, what we wanna do? We need to get the process address, which means we need to get this function address to use it. So we did load this, but we need to specify the address of this function, which is delete everything, to use it. So we will do this, but first there's something here in C you need to do this. We need to define the function that you will use it, which we're gonna create a pointer to the function, which will be like this. Function is void. We're gonna do like this. Pointer to the function, let's call it my function. And what this function will take as argument? It take a empty argument. So we're gonna look here. Yes, our function take empty argument, nothing. So we're gonna create nothing. So this is just a pointer to a function that return type is void, and it has no argument. This is may get confusing, but it's just very simple. You need to create your pointer to have the same return value and the same argument. So this is take void and no argument. So we create it, and we will use it now. We're gonna type my func. We're gonna create an instance of it. My func. Let's call it variable for simple application. My func var equal to gonna cast. Gonna change the type of the output of our get root address. This will just okay. This is I know from the beginning that this function called get block address, and it takes two parameters, which is the handle for the del and the name of the function that we want to get the address. Okay, but let's assume that I don't know, so I will just again go here, type get block address, and I will just go here. So I don't know what get block address take. It just takes the H module, which we have here. We have the H module, and it LB long pointer block name, which is the function name. Okay, and here give you some what do you call it, example. Okay, here here, so this is helpful. See, now I forgot to add this Windows API to our function. And let's go. What Windows API means that we're gonna follow the Windows calling convention, not the C. This is our, because if you notice, this is not a C function, this is just a Windows function that we are using. Okay, so the first parameter, which is the module, we're gonna type lib handle, and what is our function name? Just gonna copy our function name here. And there's a lot of something very helpful. It's just you're gonna check this handle. If it was null, means that there is an error. This is very beautiful for debugging, or because if we execute and there is a problem, we actually won't know anything. So let's type this if handle is 1, please printf, or let's use, okay, I don't want to confuse you now. I was gonna use advanced error mechanic, but let's be simple here. Can't loop library. Okay, and now we will have the address of this function in our variable here, my func var. Okay, so now we need to just execute it. How we're gonna execute this? If this variable have an address function, we need to dereference it like this. just dereference my func var. Like this. This is like we are calling the function. You know, like this is just like we type delete everything here. This is just the same. It's the same because the address of delete everything is here, but we can't type it right away because what this mean when you type address we just type address, but what the reference do, which means go get whatever in this address, okay, and call it, and we will return 0, and we need to, and that's it, we need to compile. So we're gonna go here gcc loader.exe and our beautiful flag, which is this, always use it, and compile, and we have a million error. Okay guys, the errors is just missing D here, and here I put I type load. So let's fix and compile again, and we have our code here. We have our loader. Okay, so when we open our loader, what it will do, it will delete everything. It should delete everything. It should first load our del and call a function that will delete everything. So let's create a new directory called test, and we copy the loader.exe to this test, and we copy also our del, my del.del to test. Okay, and we go to the step. Okay, and we're gonna open here. So we have our loader, we have our del, but we don't have files. So let's create some folders here. Let's create a lot of folders, just a 20 folder here. Okay, let's see our experiment here. Oh, cannot remove. Okay, he can't remove himself because it's already running. Oh, look guys, everything got melted here. As you see. Okay, let's create it again because it will look beautiful. Now we have a 20 folder here. Okay, let's add some file as well. Why not? Touch files of text. Okay, we have our text here, and I will just open our loader and look at this. That's very beautiful. Here I just told you I can't delete myself because I am running. You can't delete a file which is running, and I can't delete the del because it is running also. And this means our loader is working. And here are the pause that I put it. Of course, in production we don't wanna put pause because we wanna create our exe to just run and melt everything and no debugging information. Of course, you can put anything you want. Literally anything here on the del. You can make it create everything on this PC. You can put your reverse shell, ransomware, anything you're gonna work here. Or you can also, this is just simple example but very powerful. You can divide, if your code is very suspicious, you can divide it to a lot of dels. You can come here and create multiple dels, and the antivirus won't know anything because it divided function. Like for example, function that have the key, function that encrypt and divide to multiple dels, and your exe just simple exe, it doesn't do anything. But look here, in our case it deleted the thing or everything in the same directory, and Windows Defender filed very beautiful exe. So this is very strong technique, very powerful. You can use it. And that's it for now, guys. This was the malicious Dell, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome, guys, to our new video here, which is talk about very important concept, which is mark of the web. What is mark of the web? It is a security feature in Windows Defender and came in with each Windows operation system to mark the files that you download from the web. Okay, so let's look at the zone identifier, which is the mark of the web. This is just the technical name. So each files in your operation system will have a mark. It will be like this: ID, zone ID equals 0, zone ID equal 1, zone ID equal 2, zone ID equals 3, zone ID equal 4. What is this IDs? I mean, when ID 0, which means that this file is created on your computer. For example, if you compile a binary file using GCC or any software, you will see that it have ID equals 0, zone ID equals 0, which means this file was belonging to my computer. If it's 1, it is from your local area network. For example, if you have connect to the same router and you share files using sharing center, the files will have this ID. And 2, this is for trusted websites that you allow for yourself. And 3, this is the most common one. This is almost every file will have this, which is the ID3, which is the internet zone. Each file you're gonna download it will have this. And 4 is the resurrected site zone. This is for sites that Google will flag as this site has malwares and stuff, and the people will put the name of the IP on VirusTotal and on various software that will flag this ID. But this is very rare case. And this will be what our malware that we create will have, because we created ourselves. So it will be the first time. So it will be get flagged, and with IP we won't have. We won't put it in our own server, so it won't have our own IP. It will have like Mediafire or any trusted website. And by the way, for a computer zone, in practice, files that already in your computer that you created, it doesn't have a zone at all. So in the series, they say the file will have ID of 0 that created on your PC, but I found in practice that they don't have even ID, have nothing. I will show you this example. Here I have a exe I created on my PC, okay? And I will go here and I will open a HTTP server using Python, and I will go to my web, and I will download maybe anything, say message here. Okay, I will download it, and I will this is common It will ask me you want to upload it to the web to analyze it more. So thank you. So let's take this file here. Let's put it in here next to the local file. So now we have it both here. So I need you to focus with me. Get message is the file that I downloaded from the web. Store binary is the local file. Okay? So I'll show you something very interesting here. I will type get content get message. This is the file I downloaded. Stream, and I will type zone.identify. Okay, and look at this. Zone identifier, zone ID equals 3, and this is the file, the website that I downloaded the file from. Okay, and this is the full name. So every file you're going to download from the internet will have the website and it will have a zone ID, which means this file has been downloaded from the internet. So what this will do, this will trigger first the Windows Defender Smart Screen, and it will make the antivirus put more focus on this file. For example, it may allow the same exe that you create on your PC, that, for example, maybe to look at the keystrokes that you type, that you press, and it may allow it. Even this may be considered as malware, but he will forbid the same behavior when the exe has the ID of the internet. So while a file came from the internet, we want to save your keystrokes. So what we're gonna do? So we're gonna make our the solution for this. You're gonna make your key logger obfuscated, and you're gonna try some algorithm. And also we can do what we're gonna do here. We're gonna remove the zone identifier at all, so it will put an inspector on this file, and this is very huge on detecting on the antivirus will detect it or not. This concept is very huge. First of all, let me show you when I try to get zone identifier for the local files, which is stored binary. Again, this file I created on my PC. So look, current opens the alternative data stream zone.identifier of the file. So this is what I told you here. And this should be ID 0, but in practice you see nothing. Like I said, like I show you here. Okay. In practice, you don't see ID 0. You just see tell you don't have even zone identifier. So the first file here has a zone ID 3. So it means it came from the internet, as I showed you earlier. So the Windows Smart Screen will trigger when I try to open it, and the antivirus will focus more and treat him differently. So let me show you. Now I try to open it. Look, Windows protected your PC. Microsoft Defender Smart Screen prevented an unrecognized app from starting. You need to do this and type run anyway. Okay, and it will run like this. So what? And I want to show you, this is a local file. Of course, Windows is on the version. What? It's now this is a local file. But anyway, local files won't ever tell you, or you probably even know what I'm saying. Local files won't never tell you that Windows Smart Screen found a unrecognized file from unrecognized publisher because you created yourself. So So I can show you now. You go to any file I created here. These files are all created, so but I need to be careful so I don't click malware by example. Whatever. So as you see, you just open any file. It won't say anything. But when you download from the internet, it will have a different Windows Defender, and Smart Screen will have a different algorithm to read this file. So what is the solution for this, guys? Okay, let's just remove everything here, make it clear, and I'll show you something very beautiful. How about removing zone identifier at all? Because this is the same file, I've downloaded the same again, so I will show you the test. Okay, let's take it to our test. And now I will get the zone identifier again. So get message, and look, it has the zone ID again. So what's this mean? So if I try to open it now, Windows Defender will Smart Screen will trigger, and the Windows Defender will treat it differently. Okay, but what about we make it think that the file came from our own PC? How we do this? We're gonna do set content. We're gonna type for this file. Okay, but I'll show you something more strong in a minute. And what stream you want to edit? Set content make you edit content even in a different stream like this. I want to edit the zone.identifier. Okay, and the value. So we're gonna give it the value flag. So what is the value? Value gonna do the add sign like this, and we're gonna do it press enter, and you're just gonna copy this as it is, so you don't make anything wrong. Like if you give space between it, it will not work. So I need to make it 0. I need to make it think like it got made on my own PC. So I will just close it, and I will just press like this. Okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do? Okay, I will come back to you. Okay, guys, I decided to save this on a variable. Okay. So we're gonna just copy it again. And we will do this. Okay, now our variable has the what we was trying to write. Okay, no, I need to make it 0, so it will be our own PC. So we're just gonna type the same command again, but instead of type the value manually like this, we're gonna put our variable. Okay, so if you guys need to PowerShell, I'm trying to make it simple, but it's literally just 2 lines of code that will make the malware be more effective. Okay, so this is just a variable you create by this sign, and you put these 2 lines. Nothing complex here. And we're just gonna do the set content. What file you wanna set content to? It is the message. And which stream? The zone dot identifier string, and what is the value? I just put my variable. So nothing complex, everything simple, and I'm gonna press enter. And let us see the let us try to read the zone identifier from this file. Okay. Oh, look at this. It only has these lines, guys. So before it had 3 and it has a website attached to it. What this will do, guys, let's try to open it now and see if Windows Smart Screen will trigger or not. Oh, guess not, guys. It doesn't trigger when the file is marked as it made at the old PC, and this will make a huge impact on the Windows Defender, how he will treat our malware. So this is really beautiful. Let me show you something, some very simple, beautiful idea. That you will replace the name of the file with this. What this say? This say do this for all the content of the in the same directory. Okay. So we're gonna say, I'm trying to say set. No, I'm trying to say get content. So here. So for each file on the directory, I need you please to set the zone identifier to this value here, which I already created. So, and every file on the directory that you are in will treat it as it is in all. It is made on the current PC. So this is very huge. So one simple idea is that you will give the malware to the target and the file, the folder that you are giving, which has different files, maybe exe, maybe some delts, maybe some dependencies, and it will have a file that will called open that will you'll have to make him open it first. So what this file will do, it's just a PowerShell file will have just 2 commands, which is just the var. Okay, let me clear the screen, which is have this one, this var, and this one. So simply these simple 2 commands will be on a PowerShell file. For example, let's us create now. Don't worry if you don't know anything about PowerShell. I didn't mention in request for this course because this doesn't need an expert on PowerShell. We set content. Okay. And that's it. You save this file on extension.ps1. This will work in every Windows machine. So you will make these 2 lines run as first. So for example, you will have your exe, so that is the malware, and you have dells and you have packet shards or anything, and you're gonna call this open me, and this we're gonna get. This will make all the files on this directory get treated like it didn't even got downloaded from the internet. It won't have the website attached to it, and it will be very clear. No trigger for Windows Defender, no trigger for anything. This is very beautiful, very interesting, and I hope you guys understand the concept of zone identifiers, because it's even very important in such other topic, like when people download a Word file which have a macros. This macros will never run anymore when this macros has when this file has downloaded from the internet, and how the Windows know that this file is downloaded from the internet or not? By this, guys, by the zone identifier. So this can be very helpful, very important, and I will talk to you next video. It will be the last about how to smash the smart screen at all. Not even changing the zone identifier, we're gonna attack it. And that's it, guys. This is for this video. I will see you in the next one. By leveraging C2, threat actors can still see well their compromised resources like an army of digital puppets, executing their malicious objectives with precision and anonymity. And this is exactly what we're gonna do. And this is a little bit of explanation of a command and control server, just like two softwares. One is a command server and we will build it from scratch, and the other one is bot, or you can call it also client, and this we're gonna build it also from scratch. And we're gonna start with bot.py, which we're gonna create it using Python because it's a little bit easier than the command server, but we're gonna make it easy too. And this is the content of bot.py. We will have three functions, like one called persist, to connect to the server and wait 30 seconds if the server is not available, then connect again, and the function called receive, and this will listen and decode and execute commands and send the output to the C2 server. And lastly, you will have a create mutex. We will create a mutex, which is, if you don't know what mutex is, it's just like a unique signature or lock to make our XE run one time only on this computer. You can think about the mutex as a lock. It ensures that only one thread can access the resource at a specific time, and we will show an example here of a mutex. This is just a video player. We will open one video and watch what will happen here, guys. I will try to open a new video, a new instance of this program.
Keep my eyes on.
You can see the previous video has closed and it launched it here. I can't open two instances of this program. This is just because of mutex, and we will do this with our program. Let's start by creating our first program. You're gonna go to empty folder. You're gonna type Python -m virtual environment. We're gonna call it bot. It will take some time. A little bit of time, and then we're gonna activate it. We're gonna type the name, scripts, activate, and we will install by Windows 32. Baby install by Windows 32. I will tell you why we will do this later. And then we're gonna make a directory called source. Gonna go to it, cd, and we will create our first file, which is main.py. And here we will start by importing our modules. We're gonna import socket, sub process, we're gonna import time, import OS, system, and Windows 32 event. These modules, guys, first socket was like the source of our all connections. We're gonna go make a connection from this program to the C2 server, and sub process, it will allow us to use processes like we're gonna open files, open exe, we're gonna run our commands. This module allow you to do a lot of interesting things. We're gonna use it a lot here in this course. Let's start by creating our mutex. Username os.login.get login, and this is just give you the name. We can try to run it now, like to show you guys. Bison main.by, this is the name of my user. I can type who I am here, you can see. So now I have the name. Don't hack me. And now we're gonna create our mutex. We're gonna make a variable called mutex name. Gonna use dash format string. Gonna type username, and then let's just call any random name. Let's call it random. Oh no, let's make it unique. Let's make it bot, and we will make a variable, call it mutex. We're gonna use our module Windows 32 event. We're gonna use a method called create mutex. Be careful with uppercase here because Bison don't forgive. We're gonna make none and false, and we will pass our name. So this is a method called create mutex. It takes 3 parameters, guys. First one is for security. We're gonna make it none. We don't want any security. And the second one is about the owner of the mutex. We're gonna make it false for now. We're gonna make our own, as you will see. So we need to try to create a mutex at first place. By the way, guys, I need you to just type everything with me now. I don't need you to just sit there and listen. No, I want you to just follow me step by step. You're gonna write everything with me. This is help you to get comfortable with using this function and these methods. It will become natural after some practice. And we're gonna type result Windows 32 event dot wait for single object. And we will pass our mutex, and we will determine some time, like 2 seconds. It will take 2 seconds. This just like its name, it wait for 2 seconds after trying to create this mutex. So we will try to create a mutex called username bot. It will called like my username and bot, or for any PC it will try to capture this. and it will wait 2 seconds. We're gonna make it wait 2 seconds. And if result equal Windows 32 event dot wait object 0, we're gonna print mutex acquired. Yes, you can tell me if this is a malware, how it will print. We will try to run it in the background. This is what we're gonna do later, but now we're gonna do this for debugging, because we need to make sure first that our program work correctly, then we're gonna make it run in the background, so it will nothing gonna get printed or anything. And then we need to make another one. This is a very famous error I see. Windows 32 event, let me fix this. Windows 32 event wait timeout. If it wait for 2 seconds and didn't manage to create mutex, it will print timeout now. Mutex, and we're gonna do sys exit. So what this mean? This means the program will launch it. It will try to capture a mutex. If it fails after 2 seconds, it will exit. And what means that it failed? It means that there is another instance of our exe are running. So now he will check. He will know that another one is already running, so it will close before doing any function. And we're gonna do else, and this is for any other error. We're gonna print error failed, and we're gonna print result 2, and we're then gonna do sys exit, and we're gonna make an exception except exception as we're gonna print it to and we're gonna close our program. And what this will do, it will just try to create a mutex. If it fails, we're gonna make an exception so our program won't crash. This is the benefit of try and except. In normal, without them, the program, if any error acquired, it will crash, and we don't wanna do this. We're gonna handle all our errors as we will see later. Now we need to create our functions, but first let's make a variable called IB. We're gonna mess our IB here, and we will let's put both 2. Let's make it 8000, and we're gonna define our function. Let's make it called persistence, or let's make it called BRE for persistence, while true client equal socket dot socket dot socket if inet socket dot sock stream Okay, now we just gonna create socket from our module here, and we gonna make this socket IP version 4. This is AFINet. This is we are telling the module we gonna use IP version 4. And sock stream, we tell him that we will use TCP because we can use UDP, but we have to for now we're gonna use TCP. So if you got scared by this, no, this is just a standard constant at socket module. You're gonna type this line every time. Let's fix this. Okay. And we want this client to connect to our server. This is, by the way, will be the IP of our command server and the bot. So we want this bot to connect to our server. We're gonna do client dot connect, and we're gonna pass tuple for the IP and bot, and we will let's bot try here again, because if without try any error will happen, the program will crash, and we don't make our client crash with any cost. Because if we imagine if you give your exe after social engineering and it crashed after all the effort of convincing the user to download your exe and run it, and it crash sometimes, we will make sure that this program never crash at any circumstances. And we will from here we're gonna call a function called, let's call it receive, and we will pass the client to this function. Now we're gonna make except to handle our else. This means it couldn't connect to the server. Time.sleep, let's make it 30 seconds. Or now for testing, let's make it 10 seconds. Let's make it 4 seconds. But in real time you can't make it very short like this, because it will burn on the resource of the bot machine, and he may notice that his resources are getting burned, because if our server is crashed, our command control server if crashed or unavailable for some reason, it will keep trying to connect over and over and over, and this may cause burn of resources of the machine. So let's in real time you need to make it 30 or 20 seconds. Now let's define our function. Gonna make it text client, and gonna do another while loop, while true. Okay, I forget while true here. While true, try message equal client dot receive, and we're gonna make it 4096. What this will do, it will try to receive the message coming from the command and control server, and this is just the size of the message. We make it 496 bytes. You can make it 1024, but we're gonna choose this size. And we need to do message dot decode, because it will come encoded. This is we have this and we're gonna make a variable called execute. Exec is built-in in Python, so let's make it exec like this, and we're gonna say message dot decode because it will come encrypted, decoded. So let's make it UTF-8. And let's try to execute. So exec will be the message coming from the C2 server, and we will try to execute it now. Let's create a variable called output, and we use our sub process module, and we're gonna do method check output, and we will pass our command, and we will specify shell equal true, and we will pass the method send. Let's make it send all, and by the way, you need to choose send all over send for everything you do. Send all will make sure to send everything, because when you use send method, sometimes it will send some part of the message, not all, due to some issues with the connection with the bytes. So make sure to use send all. And now we need to send the output to our server. Let's make our exception, except sub-process, except exception as e. We need to client dot send all. We're gonna need to make it a string, and we will need to, of course, encode it, because messages have to be encoded. UTF-8. And we will need to handle our first except by using except exception as e. We can print it for debugging, but again we won't see anything when we turn it to exe. And after exception, this exception will acquire when our connection will have a problem. This message dot receive, it will not only just receive messages, and if the server didn't send a message, it will close and accept. No, this message, it will close when the connection is cut, because even if the server isn't sending messages, our connection will still be on. This is something on network. So if this was the server, C2 server, and this is our bot, as long as there is a connection is valid, this client receive message will be true, as long as there is a connection. If any problem happens, it will break. So even without the server sending message, there is a connection happen between them. It in network terms, it send bytes, and this one send bytes. Nothing will get printed and screen, but this is what will happen. And if any exceptions happen, we're gonna close our client object and do client.close, and we're gonna wait for 4 seconds, and we will break. But when we break, we're gonna make it launch our function persist again, which will try to connect again and again and again. So now the flow will be like this. And now let's summarize this real quick, man. Our exe will open. It will try to ask a question: is there another instance of me running on this machine? Yes. If yes, we're gonna exit. If no, we're gonna acquire the mutant. This means we're gonna run our two functions. First function is called persistence, or we're gonna type pre. By the way, if you type persistence or shell code or all these strings in your code, this is will make it very easy for antivirus to flag it. So don't use any suspicious variable names or function names. So our program will try to connect to our C2 server on this IP and this port, and when connection succeeds, it will call the receive function. It will keep listening for command, and it will decode the command and will execute it. And if there is a problem in the receive client.receive, which I told you the connection, it will send the problem to the C2 server, and it will break, wait 4 seconds, and call resistance again. So it will keep trying to connect. So even if we closed our C2 servers, or we're gonna close it for some maintenance or something, this program will never crash. It will try to keep connect and sleep, try to keep to connect and sleep in the background, and the user will never know. And now guys, let's start to make our Python code to exe and test it. By the way, there was a syntax error on my code, so I will provide you the code so you can check it as well, to see the right code. It's just a small syntax error, nothing big, man. And now we're gonna need to install installer to turn this code into exe. Pip install installer. It will take a little bit of time. Okay, now we install it and we have our code. So all we're gonna do, we're gonna type installer, no confirm, one file, no console, and this will not create any console, so nothing will get printed in our screen. And strip, this will strip all the non-important symbol to create our exe. And we gonna main.py the file, and we gonna specify the name. We're gonna call it .exe, and we're gonna hit enter. There was a syntax error in one file. I just need to put another E. So now it's done, guys. So it will create dist and build folders. We're gonna go to dist, we're gonna find our exe. So now we can look at it. This is our bot.exe. How we're gonna test this, guys? I'll test this with our command and control server, which we didn't make it yet, but I did make it, so I will use it for testing. So I will just run my command and control server, and now server is listening on this port. All you have to do, the client need to download this exe and run it, and boom, we have our connection, guys. Now connection from this IP on this port, and this is a list of clients. Now let's try some commands here. Let's try dial. Now we're gonna go, we have our content of our directory. Let's try who am I. You may have noticed, guys, that this boot.exe is running on the background now. Now the client or the client won't have any clue what's happening. Let's try more aggressive command. Let's try get PowerShell.exe get process. This is aggressive command. It will take a little bit of time. Here we go, all the process, all the ID. Of course you can do kill command. You have to just put the ID of the process, it will get killed. Just the ID or MSH you need to kill, and of course I don't need to tell you this. It's just like you have CMD, access to CMD. You can do all of great things on PowerShell. You can upload files. You can upload files from this exe. You can list partitions. Can get partition. Don't hack me, by the way. Can list all the partitions and the disk here. Of course I don't need to tell you, you probably know what opening a shell session or on computer means. And that's it, guys. We create our bot and it will run for infinity. I will tell you later how to make it persist even when Windows restart. I will tell you this was the easy way. By the way, I didn't include this on our code because there's something very important about antivirus. They typically don't like when your exe modifies the registry key. At least in my experiment, a lot of times when I would modify registry, it will get flagged. So I will tell you a very beautiful way to adjust registry without administrator and without getting flagged by the antivirus. But I will tell you this later. By the way, guys, I almost forget to mention that our antivirus is running all this time, and we're gonna make a scan with Windows Defender, and you can scan it with any antivirus you have also. But one thing is very important: never upload any malware to VirusTotal. This is because VirusTotal will debug it and will run it on a virtual machine and sandbox, and if one of the 75 antivirus he have detected, it will publish this result to all the antiviruses. So what you're gonna do in terms of attacking, you will need to know the antivirus of the machine you will attack, and you will make your malware to bypass it. For example, if I know that I want to attack a machine that have a vast antivirus, I will simply create virtual machine and I will deploy or install Avast on it. I will just create a virtual machine and put Avast on it, and I will send the malware and scan it. And if you know the machine have Windows Defender, you just scan it like I did here. So you typically don't need your malware to bypass all antivirus, because this will be unnecessary effort. I myself did this a long time ago. I was trying to make my exe bypass all, even when it got scanned by 30 antivirus, only one was detecting it. I was keep trying to modify our code again and again. I try to do obfuscation and a lot of method, but it turns out that this is all not necessary at all, because all security expert and people who try to exploit will just save themselves a lot of time by just making the malware bypass the machine that they are trying to exploit. And this is the right way. You just need to target a machine, know what antivirus they have, and you're gonna make your malware bypassed.